Hey class! Chapter 6, Leather and Fur, closes out Part 2, the primary level, the materials of fashion. Leather and fur is a textile with a lot of political debate surrounding it. In this chapter, we'll explore the politics surrounding it in our discussion of the leather and fur industries. Just a quick heads up, there are some videos posted in this lecture that some may find sensitive and graphic in nature. The process of making leather is a specialized and time-consuming process. Trends must be identified far in advance to account for the necessary lead time for production. Decisions regarding production method, texture, finishes, and color are made 8 to 16 months in advance. The leather industry is recognized as a leader because of their insight regarding texture and color. In the leather industry, it is seldom that animals are raised specifically for their hides, but rather leather is derived from the byproduct of the meatpacking industry. The hides of animals slaughtered for food consumption are used to create leather. The categories of leather. There are 9 major categories or groups that leather is placed in. Cattle is the major producer of leather. Let's go ahead and explore these categories. We have cattle, sheep and lamb, equine, buffalo, deer, goat and kid, pig and hog, kangaroo and wallaby, and exotic. Equine leather is the product of horses, zebras, and mule hides. Horses provide a more rugged leather. This leather is considered to be durable and sturdy when tanned into Cordovan leather, making it great for shoe soles, luggage, and belts. Exotic leather is the product of alligator, snake, and lizard skins. With the limited supply of exotic leather available, the price of these leathers are steadily increasing. The sustainable use policy, however, has resulted in alligator being removed from the endangered species list. This policy encourages the preservation of alligator eggs and their habitats in exchange for permission to use a percentage of the animal to produce products. Louisiana is the top state in the U.S. that produces alligator skins. The U.S. is the only source of raw animal hides. A few items created using alligator skins are shoes and purses. Cattle leather is a product of cow, steer, and bull hide. It is used to create upholstery as well as gloves and garments. Take a moment to review Table 6.1, 9 major categories of leather on page 111 of your textbook for a complete list of all categories of leather and their uses. Leather processing. Through the oldest known craft, tanning, leather is created through the transformation of animal pelts. There are 3 categories that pelts are divided into based upon weight. Skins are those that weigh 15 or less pounds. Kips weigh 15 to 25 pounds, and hides weigh more than 25 pounds. Skins consist of calves, goats, pigs, sheep, and deer, while kips consist of young horses and cattle. Hides consist of cattle, oxen, buffalo, and horses. At the most, the tanning process can take up to 6 months depending on the category being tanned. Hides with the end purpose of sole leather and saddlery require 3 to 6 months. hips and skins require less time. The tanning process involves the use of minerals, vegetable materials, oils, and chemicals. These agents can be used alone or in combination. Product end use is a determining factor as to the tanning agent selected. Chrome tanning is the fastest method of tanning that is used to process 2/3 of the leather produced in the U.S. In just a few short hours, leather is produced for products such as gloves, handbags, and shoes. Chrome tan leather is identifiable by its pale blue-gray color on the edge and center of the cut. Vegetable tanning uses tannic acids that are naturally derived from bark, wood, or the nuts of trees, as well as shrubs and tea leaves. This tanning method is used on the hides of cow, steer, horses, and buffalo. Vegetable tan leather is identified by its dark center streak on the cut of the edge. This process of tanning is done mainly overseas as it is labor intensive. Oil tanning, which is one of the most oldest methods of tanning, typically uses fish oil from codfish. The fish oil is used to produce doeskin and buckskin leather. These leathers are super soft and very pliable, making them great for gloves and jackets. Chemical tanning uses formaldehyde. This process is a quick process to produce leather. Formaldehyde tan leather is easily dyed as the process initially turns the leather white. Another benefit of this tanning method is that it is washable. Products produced from chemical tanning are gloves and children's shoes. The finishing process gives leather its desired thickness, color, moisture, and aesthetic appeal. It is important to note that suede is a finish and not a kind of leather. Trends in the leather industry. There are 3 trends in the leather industry, which include enlarging markets, increased competition from synthetics, and increased foreign trade. Improved methods of tanning are giving us better and more versatile leathers. These improvements fall into 3 categories. They make our leathers more softer and pliable. The ability of tanners to split full-grain leather thinner and thinner creates the suppleness of these products. Leather can be dyed in an array of colors, up to just about 500 different colors to be exact. Caring for leather is easier, as some leather is now washable. Today's synthetics look and feel more like real leather. Because of this, leather and suede has begun to be marketed. The most important is Ultra Suede, which has quickly become a fashion classic. Foreign trade has also increased as the supply of raw hides is large enough to allow for growth in production. The industry has aggressive efforts to develop foreign markets, ensuring future growth. Furs are one way to symbolize one's wealth and status. Mink coats account for half of all furs sold today. It is a favorite amongst consumers. Followed by mink coats are sable, fox, and beaver furs. In the mid-18th century, furs were basically considered currency in North America. U.S. cities such as Chicago, Detroit, St. Louis, St. Paul, and Spokane were established based upon fur trading posts. Furs were a means of survival. The discovery of beaver led to the fur rush when settlers moved west in search of beaver fur. Communities such as Beaver Creek, Beaver Falls, and Beaver Lake were established. Like leather, the use of furs has been protested by animal rights groups. For animal rights groups, the use of fur is considered cruelty to animals. In response, the fur industry has poured into consumer education by informing consumers that furs used today are from non-endangered species. The industry is also working to develop global humane trapping standards. Faux fur is manufactured fur. It was once shunned upon. However, technology advances has led to improvement in the production of faux fur, and more consumers are widely accepting of it. Organization and operation. The 3 stages of fur production: trappers, farmers, and ranchers, fur processing companies, and manufacturers of fur products. Pelts, which is the skin of a fur-bearing animal, are produced by trappers, farmers, and ranchers. It is then sold at auctions. Wild animal pelts are sourced primarily from trappers during the coldest seasons of the year. Animals are then bred and raised for their furs, mainly on farms and ranches. The advantages of fur farming are that animals are raised under controlled conditions. It also allows for breed selectivity. For example, breeds are able to be chosen based upon color. So perhaps one is looking for a fur with a red color or perhaps a stripe. Fur processing is when fur dressers and dyeing firms process pelts, making them suitable for consumer use and dyeing them to meet the season's trends. The following are the steps that must be completed to transform pelts into finished garments. A design is sketched, a paper pattern is made, a canvas pattern is then made, skins are cut from the pattern to conform to the sketch, exhibiting fur to its best advantage and minimizing waste. The cut skins are then sewn together. Those skins are then wet and stapled to a board to dry. At this stage, the skins are permanently set. The garment pieces are then sewn together. The garment is lined and finished, and finally, it is inspected. Retail distribution. The U.S. ranks amongst the top country in fur retail sales. Fur departments are considered leased or consignment departments within retail stores. A leased department is ran independently. However, it is located inside the retail store. They provide a percentage of their sales to the retailer in exchange for utilizing the space. Consignment departments supplies come from fur manufacturers. One benefit is that the retailer has the option of returning any unsold goods. Trends in the fur industry. The demand for fur is related directly to the economy. Mild winters and activism will bring about a decrease in fur sales. The amount of discretionary income also will increase or decrease fur sales. Another trend is the banning of furs. States, retailers, designers, and editorials alike are beginning to ban furs. States like California and New York have implemented banning policies. Some companies have also chosen to ban the sale of fur, such as Bloomingdale's and Macy's. Designers like Prada, Michael Kors, and Chanel are no longer using fur in their collections. As a response, the industry has argued that faux furs are worn for a limited time only and then discarded. The discarded faux fur can take decades to decompose, while real fur can be worn for many years and passed down as a family heirloom. Growth in the demand for fur can be affected by four major trends. Renewed fashion interest in furs. So today, furs are worn for many different occasions. We have furs that are sporty, casual, or classic in style. China is the global leader in retail fur consumption. The U.S. also continues to produce innovative, high-style furs. With China being the global leader, foreign trade is still very prominent. Restrictive legislation that aids the industry, such as the Endangered Species Act, forbid the sale of furs from endangered species. With this act, consumers do not have to be concerned with whether they're wearing an endangered species. Fur sellers are seeking new channels of retail distribution in order to cut down on the overhead needed to maintain a facility year-round. Rather, they are opting to utilize hotels, armories, and arenas to sell their fur. So this ends Chapter 6, Leather and Fur. Next, we'll move into Part 3.